So welcome to our information session about the glass courses at Melbourne Polytechnic. We're going to talk about all our glass courses. I'm going to run through the Cert 3 first, and then we'll talk about the diploma. So we're currently, or next year, we'll be delivering a Cert 3 full-time day course, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. The days are 10 a.m. to 3:30 with half an hour for lunch. There are 23 units, all of which have theory and practical components. There's a list of those units on the Melbourne Polytechnic website. Some of them do say elective, but there are no electives. You do the whole 23 units. The course works out to be about 80% practical hands-on work and about 20% of the theory. To get the qualification, you need to complete both the practical and the theory. The theory is delivered online on a Moodle platform, and we suggest about 1 to 2 hours a week at home working on that to complete some of that theory. We like to leave as much time as possible for practical work in the studio. The Cert 3 part-time is at night. The first years this year will be Tuesday and Thursday, 6 till 9:30 p.m. The first year is lead lighting, sandblasting, and a lot of the technical and trade skills. So repairing lead light, a bit about installation, definitely OH&S, a lot of emphasis on cutting and lead lighting. And then the second year, stained glass, copper foil and fusing and some of those smaller units around that. The diploma, which we'll be delivering for the first time in 2025, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time, we're fairly certain, the first time that a diploma of visual arts glass has been delivered in Australia, certainly in the last 10 or 20 years it is. That will be Monday, Tuesday and Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 4:30. So it's a 6-hour day with half an hour for lunch. And there are 15 units, which I'll go through a bit later in the session. So the PowerPoint that's currently up shows you the Melbourne Polytechnic Prahran campus. Of course, Prahran has long been a centre of design and art in Melbourne, so we're lucky to be placed here. This is our glass studio. I'm hoping that, hang on a tick, I'll just get rid of that, that might help. These are photos from 5 years ago when we first started, and it was pristine. It's probably not as pristine, but it's still a wonderful studio. It is set up as a commercial glass studio, in effect, a simulated work environment, because the Cert 3 glass and glazing, which is the qualification, we have a special stream in that qual called designed glazing, which encompasses lead light, stained glass, kiln form work, copper foil and sandblasting. And the qualification does stipulate that the delivery is in a simulated work environment. So we have this wonderful glass studio. We're also about to set up a second glass studio and new classrooms for us as well, which is really good for 2025. There we go with some of our graduates when they were students working in the studio. Just to give you a look if you haven't already been. Here's a selection of the work. This was produced, most of this is from the first couple of years, and since then, of course, we've had wonderful graduates who create the most beautiful work, and there's some more of it. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So just a note about Glass Ink, spelled GLAAS, as you can see. Glass Ink is an industry body. It's a registered charity run completely by volunteers, and we work to progress the use of glass in art and architecture and to support glass artists, makers and students. And part of that is being very supportive of the glass courses at Melbourne Polytechnic. We have I say we, I'm the program lead of glass at Melbourne Polytechnic, and my other job is the director of Glass Inc., which works really well because Glass Inc. has a lot of really good industry contacts, which lead to employment and other opportunities, and we have good contacts in the arts sector. So I'll go through a bit later what some of our students are doing. Glass Inc. provides a glass support system, a community around the course, so offering opportunities certainly, but also support. And that's ongoing after you finish your course. Okay. That's a map of Prahran campus. So as Maria mentioned, we are recording this session and we are going to try and make that available on YouTube. So if you want to go back and look at something or pick up some of the information, you'll be able to do that. I'm just going to show you very quickly a list of the units in the Cert 3, and I'm going to run through them very quickly because, as I said, you can see them on the Melbourne Polytechnic website. First aid, manually move glass, cut thin glass by hand, process glass by basic machines, which are things like grinders, make measurements and calculations, which is extremely important if you're making a lead light panel to fit into somebody's window. Environmentally sustainable work practices increasingly important, particularly as we work with glass and lead. In the course, we have some wonderful ways of recycling and safe handling of those materials. Communicate in the workplace, work in a team. There are core units in the qualification that things like that, which are useful, probably things that a lot of people already have, but they are useful units, just small units. OH&S, extremely important. We start with OH&S and we start with cutting. The OH&S runs right through the course because, as I said, you're dealing with glass and lead and other substances, kilns. It can be dangerous, but we make it safe, and you can make it safe too for yourself. Apply patterns and design to glass is actually the sandblasting unit, which is wonderful. Glazing, assessing your glazing requirements, forming glass in the kiln, repairing, assemble lead light and stained glass components is the unit that runs right through the year. And we aim to have you leave as a very competent lead lighter, which is what most people do. And then you have, stained glass painting. It's an introduction, but quite a thorough one. Kiln forming the same, and copper foiling, which leads on from the lead light. So paint and fire glass is the traditional stained glass methods. Copper foiling, fused glass is also a kiln forming unit. Integrate colour theory, produce and prepare photo images and select sites for creative projects are really interesting smaller units that add information to the main units with the techniques. So that's basically the Cert 3. We've got 20 places available in the day course, 20 places available in the first year night course, and we do have a few places available in the second year. So if anybody actually had some lead lighting or some other glass experience and just wanted to do those specialised units at night for the second year, that's something you can talk to me about. It's quite possible. Okay, all right, so the diploma. I'll just list the units for that to start with. Now, the diploma is meant to, the ideal way to do the courses is the Cert 3 and really learn those skills. You get a good grounding in particularly architectural glass with some kiln forming. These units are designed to take what you've learnt in the Cert 3 and develop some of them, and some of them are newer units that wouldn't have been covered in the Cert 3. The idea being that you can extend your skills and your knowledge to become a glass craftsperson, a glass artist, a glass designer, self-employed, or your own arts practice. Certainly can go and work for other glass studios as well. It's quite interesting the work that our graduates are doing. There's a number of our graduates who are self-employed and they've developed their own products with the techniques that they've been taught. And that ranges from homeware, such as specialist mirrors. There are homewares such as platters, dinnerware, that sort of thing. There's architectural glass, lead light, stained glass, using all the techniques together in perhaps a finished window panel. Fused glass can be architectural as well. It just needs to be installed within a framework. We've got people working in those. We've got people working in architectural glass in terms of big installations, small installations, making lead light panels, both period style ones and repairing existing lead light, and using lead light to create very, very contemporary panels. So tying in with interior design, tying in with architecture. 7 of our graduates are currently employed. There was a joint project with the artist Tom Nicholson, Victorian artist, and Jeff Wallace, who's a master stained glass artist, has been in the industry a long time. They're working on a project for overseas that is a bit hush-hush, so I can't tell you where it is, but it's very exciting. And it's a huge amount of contemporary lead light to be installed overseas in about a year's time. And 7 of our graduates are working on actually making those panels, which will be shipped overseas. So that's really exciting. And it just shows the reach of what we're doing here with glass. And our students and our graduates are actually going into the industry and changing the face of the industry. They're connecting with designers, architects, and creating a whole renaissance in glass, this type of glass. And we were fortunate enough to have an article in the New York Times recently, and they recognised that that's what we're doing here in Melbourne at Melbourne Polytechnic. And if you're interested in glass, you can be part of that. It's very exciting. So these units, just to go back to the diploma. So the idea is in the diploma that you'll take some of your skills, you'll learn new skills like refined drawing, and that unit will have utilising computerised systems as well and looking at different ways to create your designs and your patterns. There'll be some units like realise a body of creative work, where you actually bringing in your conceptual and technical skills and organisational skills to create a coherent body of work in glass. There's quite a lot of practical work and there is a lot of theory in the diploma, and it's all theory that is designed to help you progress your practice or your employment prospects or your self-employment. Sustainability, present a body of creative work is making it, as it sounds, body of work. Safe creative practice is important. Refine glassworking techniques. This is where you work on a particular technique that you already know and you develop it. The same with investigating glassworking materials and processes. Then we have a kiln cast glass technique, which is not taught in the Cert 3, so it's a whole new technique to learn, which will be exciting. Establish, negotiate and refine a design brief. So important when you're dealing with architects, interior designers and others, that you can take, or the client brief, working with a client. Very important that you can design, create something that the client actually wants and needs. Very important unit. Research and apply light and colour. That's the difference working with glass than to a lot of other mediums, is that light is very much a part of the glass artist's palette. And that's what makes it so exciting. The light infuses glass, and creating, with a finished glass panel in the light, in a window, for example, just changes constantly with the daylight and overcast and whatever the weather is. It all impacts how it looks. Really exciting to work with that with glass. So extend your expertise in glass to a professional level. That's so important too. You're working quite often with other professionals, and this will help you have the skills and the knowledge and the confidence to do that. Marketing is so important in whatever you're doing, and social media. This is an exciting, Glass Inc. runs a First Nations free workshop program, and really trying to grow the First Nations voice in glass, particularly in architectural glass. Every year we have a NAIDOC Week exhibition, which is work from our workshop First Nations students and our course First Nations students. So in this unit, which will start at the beginning of term 2, you'll be learning about dealing with a cultural program and what you need to take into account, and learning about First Nations culture. And then you'll be working on actually organising the NAIDOC Week exhibition, which will be held in July. So this is really good real-life learning, and it covers so many areas, and you'll actually have that satisfaction of, after finishing the unit, not too long after finishing the unit, of actually creating that exhibition. The exhibition's held in our gallery space here at Melbourne Polytechnic on the High Street, and it's a glass gallery, so we have it to ourselves, which is wonderful, and Glass Inc. Organises the management of that. This year, there were 80% of the exhibitions were current students or graduates of the course. And that's how it's going. It's wonderful. There's that much work being produced that's definitely worth exhibiting. And then Apply Innovation to Contemporary Design Glass is a great course, because you look at really innovative techniques, current types of bonding, which is like gluing glass and creating kiln form pieces that go into lead light, and just really mixing it up. So there's a lot of really good units in that diploma. And I'm just going to show you a PowerPoint. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Developed by Bethany Wheeler. Bethany is one of our teachers, and Beth, if you look up Bethany Wheeler Glass, Beth's the glass artist with an international reputation, good reputation, and has been instrumental in helping to develop this diploma. So I'm just going to work through this one. Pay our respects again. Some of the work being produced by our current Cert 4. We've been delivering the Cert 4 since 2021, but we do feel the diploma will be a more suitable qualification for glass into the future. It will provide the skills that are really needed now and into the future. So 1 year full-time, 3 days per week at 6 hours, as I've said, starting the 24th of February. So studio 2 days a week, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays, theory on Mondays. The course will also, apart from the course content, it will encompass studio visits to other glass artists, guest speakers, gallery visits, masterclasses, which are wonderful, where someone from the industry comes in and shares their skill. And sometimes that's done by graduates who have gone on to do things too. And it's wonderful that they can come back and share what they're doing. Mentorships, industry experience where we can, and the gallery, which is the Australian Centre for Glass Design, opportunities through there. More work by our current Cert 4s. That's painting. Now, I haven't updated this and I'm sorry. We have got the full fee now and it's actually a little bit higher than we first hoped for, but it's $11,750. Now, there's no concession card discounts. I'm really sorry. I should have updated this. But however, because it's a diploma course, students are able to apply for government funding, a loan, similar to HECS. It's called the VET funding scheme, I think. We can provide some information on that.
I'll put it in the chat, Donna.
Thanks, Maria.
That's
Thank you. Yes, all materials are provided and I've just had the go-ahead that we're allowed to buy more fusing glass than we thought we could, which is wonderful. We provide all tools, use of equipment, most of the protective equipment, although we will ask you all, if you don't already have a good quality mask with filters, we'll ask you to buy yourselves one. They tend to be about $60, $60 to $70. We can help with that if that's difficult, and we'll recommend the ones to get. The reason we want you to buy that yourself is because we want you to own it and we want you to use it at home or any other place where you're working with glass. The VET student loan. So what happens with that? You apply for it. You need to be Australian citizen. I think maybe a New Zealand citizen. We'll have a look into that. And the majority of people do get that loan and you don't have to repay it until you're earning over a certain amount. So it's not like in the Cert 4 you could pay it off, the cost of the course, but it had to be just over the 10 months of the course. There's no repayment. The only thing you pay up front are the amenities, which is under $300. I think it's $250 or $275. So that's all you'd have to pay to do the course and organise your VET student loan, which if you're interested in the diploma, if I were you, I'd start looking into that loan now. And I'm really sorry that there are no concession discounts. More wonderful painting. So these are the teachers that we'll have, excuse me. So Beth Wheeler, and as I said, look up Beth Wheeler Glass, look up her website. Jordan Benson, a lot of you will know Jordan's a graduate of our Cert 3 and Cert 4. A lot of people know him from Instagram and his wonderful work. Michael Castledine, who has extensive experience in marketing and business and is also a glass artist, and Andy Cruz, who, again, extensive. I'm just trying to think of his new business. If you're on Instagram, I think it's called Two Suns, SUNS Glass. Michael is Sandcastle Glass. And Jordan, I think if you just put in Jordan Benson, you'll get Jordan on Instagram. Supported by a dedicated studio technician who is one of our graduates, the distinguished historian, Dr. Bronwyn Hughes, who is president of Glass Inc. The designed glass and glazing industry is very supportive, and in fact, they gave us the support to ensure the diploma was viable. And Glass Inc, naturally. And if you come and do the course with us, you'll find out how much Glass Inc does to support the course. And the opportunities are what are really important. That last little bit there. Nurture your skills while learning how to market your work as an artist with guidance from passionate and industry experienced teachers. A lot of our teachers are actually running current businesses in the sector. And that can provide opportunities as well sometimes. So here are some of our other graduates. Some of the things our graduates have gone on to, as well as that work on that big overseas project at the moment. On the left, that picture is Shay, who straight out of Cert 4, got a residency with the local council, with Kingston Council. So she got a 6 months placement in a studio, some financial support and an exhibition. Other opportunities coming up for Shay to travel and have other residencies. So that's wonderful. They're the sort of things that can come up. Jordan, at the end of his Cert 4, he won the Canberra Glassworks graduate residency place. So he got to go up to Canberra for a month and I did play with the hot glass, learn the hot glass and all the facilities up at Canberra, which was wonderful. There's another graduate, Nadine Keegan, won an International Specialised Skills Institute Fellowship, which is $10,000 to travel overseas and study the glass that you want to study or look at buildings, whatever ties into your particular practice. That's another opportunity. Shay has also been featured in British Vogue and Vanity Fair magazines. Poppy Templeton, if you're on Instagram, Duck Ragu, Poppy's and Eloise McCulloch from Fool's Glass. They're both graduates and they've been featured in Melbourne Broadsheet, Design Files. Eloise has just been chosen as a shortlisted designer for Australian Design Review. They're top 30 designers under 30. So many things. I won't go on, but there's just lots of opportunities around the course and that lead into from the course. So the studio work that you do are these: refine drawing, investigate, glassworking, kiln casting, refine your glasswork, innovation, expertise, and create a body of work. All sounds pretty exciting to anyone who's into glass. The theory: maintain a safe practice, marketing your work, negotiating a design brief with a client, as we said, so important, social media planning, develop sustainable practice, presenting your work. And glasswork presents really well. You need to learn how to photograph it because the light is tricky. But when you get good photos of your work and put them on Instagram, the effects are stunning. If you if you're on Instagram, have a look at the Glass Ink site, which is GLAASINC. And a lot of our students and graduates' work is featured on that site. All these wonderful works and designs. So the diploma's theory, business and cultural and specialist units are being curated to complement your creative practice and supporting students to become confident makers armed with the relevant industry skills and knowledge to maintain sustainable careers. Doing this diploma will give you the edge over people who haven't done the diploma because you'll be going out with skills that are really preparing you to work in your own business, your own practice. The image on the right, one of our current Cert 4s, recent graduate, Monica Tran, designed a couple of wonderful stickers which we're selling on the Glass Ink website. That's one of them. So the kiln casting unit that says explore the possibilities of optics and depth in glass through the kiln casting. Exciting process to learn. Now, the specialist unit, the cultural one I talked about before, was creating the NAIDOC Week event. And that work that's displayed there is Shay again. And she's very much exploring her cultural heritage through her work. There will be cultural safety training provided, which is really valuable. And that's really understanding other people's cultures and how to respectfully deal with people and their work and present it in the best possible way, make the process a really enjoyable process for everyone and an effective one. And the specialist unit, colour and light, which is really at the heart of working with glass, particularly architectural glass, but all glass. We don't do blown glass here. We don't have facilities for blowing, but we do have connections with other blowers where you can go and do a workshop or a short course. Most people, when I ask what's drawn them to glass, they talk about the colour and the light. It's what grabs our attention and really speaks to people. And you can communicate a lot through glass to others. Yep. Establish a well-rounded, sustainable practice as an independent glass artist, or go and work with another studio, or work collaboratively with other graduates, fellow students. That's happening a lot too. Glass Inc. provides a community, a ready-made community to step into. We don't just provide opportunities and practical assistance, which we do. We provide that lovely community where you can find out information, where you can be supported after you've finished your diploma. And it's so important because it's very hard to break into most industries, and we give you a fairly comfortable passageway into connections for most people. Work from graduates, there you go. Okay, at this point, would be good to see if anybody's got any questions.
Donna, I've put a few links in the chat, including the address of the Australian Centre for Glass Design, which is our glass gallery, which has been set up for Christmas. It looks fantastic. I walked past it today. It is on the Prahran campus at 140 High Street, Prahran. And that's do you want to tell people the opening hours until Christmas?
We're opening on today and next Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Thursday, Friday and Saturday this week and next week is 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. If you go to the Glass Inc. Instagram, that's for today, which is, what is today? The 11th? Oh, thank you. Keep up at this time of year, 11th of December, go at Instagram at GLAASINC, and there's a story which shows a lot of the work, a lot of which is student work. And I will make that into a reel and put it up on the Glass Inc. Instagram for ongoing access. And you can see the sort of, what's possible. Thanks, Maria. That's great.
Hi, I had a question.
Yes.
So we spoke a lot about the diploma and kind of the job opportunities after completing that. I was just curious if there's been similar opportunities for people who have completed the certificate 3 and 4, or if it's quite necessary to complete the diploma as well in order to get into the industry.
Sorry, if they complete the certificate 3 and 4,
like those like artistic residencies and everything, is that achievable by just completing the certificate, or would you say the diploma is quite necessary to breaking into the industry?
No, it's definitely achievable by just doing the Cert 3. We're not delivering the Cert 4 anymore. The diploma will replace it. But you could do the Cert 3, and certainly those opportunities around glassing, the opportunities out there are as accessible to Cert 3 graduates. The diploma just gives you perhaps an edge if you were going for a residency or something else. I think that would help. But certainly a lot of our Cert 3 graduates haven't done the Cert 4 and have done really well.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah, they're both qualifications on their own.
Yeah. And I just wanted to confirm as well, for the certificate 3, is that 4 days a week?
Well, the full-time is 4 days a week, every day except Thursday, and we do run a 2-year part-time night course, exactly the same units, and you do half of them in the first year and half the second, and you start in 2025 Tuesday and Thursday nights, 6 till 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which nights. They'll either be Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday in 2026 to complete the units.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem, Evie. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks. It was a great presentation.
Thank you. The end of a long day at the end of a long year. Jemima, did you have any questions?
No, not really quite specifically. Only thing I wanted to ask you was for the diploma, because I remember there was quite a bit of talk surrounding like the tools that we were using and such. Would it be best if I go and like curate my own toolbox for the diploma?
What we're going to do is, and we've been trying to do it for a while, we just haven't had the time, but we're going to try to put together some, a package of tools that people can buy, and you can buy them one at a time or buy them all together.
Yeah, that
And
would be great.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a good point, and I think it's definitely would help that you have your own in the diploma. But of course, for anyone who doesn't want to do that, we'll still provide tools, and we will be buying new tools in. But I think I think there's a need and a desire for it, so we'll make it happen.
Lovely,
So
thank you.
perhaps don't buy any until you talk to us.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we might be able to get a good price. So, yeah.
Lovely,
Just
Good.
while people are thinking of questions, I can share my screen and show you the next step if for those who haven't yet booked an interview. So if you go onto the Melbourne Polytechnic website and make your way to Certificate 3 Glass and Glazing, and same sort of thing for the diploma, you could click see entry requirements, and that will take you to this heading, attend an interview, and then click on that, and this calendar will pop up, and then you just set the time zone and choose the day and the time that suits. So for example, the first one in January is the 16th, and there are a few times there that are available. And if you're interested in both the certificate 3 and the diploma, you only need to do one interview because they're both with Donna.
Just noticed we're just seeing you as Zoom user. I'm not sure who that is. Okay, will I do OHS repeating next year? Sorry, I'm just going to...
Maybe Donna, we can liaise with Deb after the info session.
I think that's
perhaps.
Deb, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll just... Yeah.
So if you do the OHS unit in Cert 3 this year, Donna, do you need to do it in the diploma next year? Perhaps that's the question.
Deb's doing year 2. I'll get back to Deb after, because after.
But I guess one question people might have is, are there any units that you would do in the Cert 3 that you would then get credit transfers in the diploma?
No, because what you'll do is the diploma would be a higher level of the same thing, and it's a bit different in the diploma. In the Cert 3, the OH&S is very much very important, and it's about handling the materials and all of those sort of things. I think in the diploma, It's about it's other things as well. It's viability, it's financial viability, it's all sorts of things in sustainability and OH&S. But yeah, they're different levels. Yeah. I'll text Deb after the session. Okay.
Anyone else? Earlier on, I put the details for our admin office. We will be closing for the Christmas break after next Friday, the 20th, and then reopen on the 6th of January. But if you would like to contact us before next Friday or after next Monday, the 6th of January, you can reach us. Either Maria Mondano or myself. I'll just put the email and phone number there.
Yeah. That's great. And can I just say to everybody, please do contact Prahran because I won't be back until the 20th of January. So if you're emailing me, I probably won't even be looking at emails until around the 14th, but I'll be back on the 20th. So please, Maria are wonderful and can help with any of your queries. Okay, so if we don't have any more questions.
Donna, sorry, could I just ask
No,
one?
that's okay. Yeah, of course.
Should I go on to the Melbourne Polytechnic website and apply for the diploma to go through all of those steps?
Yes, but Jemima, I'll text you after this as well.
Yep, no worries. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, just
the only thing.
Sorry, it's just that we're recording this, so I'm just being careful as to not give it, information away.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, though.
Yeah, your name's
anyone who is doing the Certificate 3 or Certificate 4 this year will need to apply through the Melbourne Poly website. But you'll be considered as a pathway student as opposed to anyone else who's new to Melbourne Polytechnic. And the good news is you won't have to do the BKSB because it's valid for 2 years.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's one less thing that you need to do. But otherwise, everything else is the same. You complete the e-form, you upload your documents, your ID documents for verification, and so on with our colleagues in the enrolment centre. But there's just a couple of steps that you won't need to do.
Yeah. But in Jemima's case, just wait because I'll be texting you after this session.
No worries. Thank you, Donna.
No worries. Yeah. Well, if there's no more questions, I think we'll close it down, but please do contact us for anything that you need. Jemima and Deb, I'll just contact you now with your answers.
Thank you.
And thank you, Maria, and thanks, Evie.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
And have a lovely holiday break. And if you can get to the glass gallery, come and see the beautiful works that are perfect Christmas presents for your loved ones, and know that they're gifts that give twice because you're also supporting local makers and artists.
Thanks, Maria.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye.
Maria. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.